Level 1, the signal. You are 15, sitting on a milk crate outside your building when Marcus finds you. Marcus is 22. He doesn't dress like money, and that's exactly how you know he has it. You see good, right? You do. Then here's the job, he says. Touch the brim of your cap twice if a car you don't recognize slows down near the mailbox. That's it. That's the whole assignment. For 3 hours, you sit exactly where you already sit every day. Except now someone is paying you to notice what you already noticed for free. At 9 o'clock, Marcus presses 2 folded 20s into your hand without breaking stride. $40. Your mother scrubs floors at the hospital for 6 hours to make that much. You do the math before you can stop yourself. You will keep doing this math for the rest of your life. Nobody explains the first rule to you. It just settles into you like weather. The bills in your apartment are red before they're due. The stove has 2 working burners. Your mother irons her uniform at midnight so it's crisp by 6. You've watched her do this arithmetic your entire childhood without understanding what you were staring at. Now you do. 2 weeks in, Marcus asks you to hold a shoebox for 20 minutes. You don't ask what's inside. He notices that you don't ask. Out here, that silence has a price, and it just went up. $60 this time. You buy your mother a winter coat and tell her it was on sale. The lie comes out of your mouth so easily, it scares you. By the end of the month, you know this block like a language. Which cars belong here? Which windows have somebody watching behind them? Which corners are just corners, and which ones are jobs? You thought you grew up on this street. You're only now learning what actually lives on it. Then Marcus tells you there's a real position opening up. He says it the way other men announce a promotion. You say yes before he even finishes. You think you're being promoted. You're being absorbed. Level 2, the root. Level 2 runs on rules nobody bothers to write down, and the first one is this. Everything on this block belongs to somebody, and none of that somebody is you. You're a runner now, 4 in the afternoon until midnight, $35 a shift. Rain included, because customers don't melt, but lookouts do. You move small amounts short distances because you're 16 and the law goes easy on both those things, and somewhere above you, a man you've never met has already built that fact into his business plan. You learn the choreography fast. The money and the product never travel in the same pocket, never the same hand, never the same minute. At the end of every night, the count is law. Short once, that's a conversation. Short twice, that's a different conversation entirely. You learn the block's other clock too, a car circling twice in 10 minutes, a man walking too slow with his phone face down. You develop an ear for engines the way other kids develop an ear for music. There's a man named Otis who's been out here in one role or another for 30 years. Everybody's friendly to Otis. Nobody wants to become him. It takes you months to understand Otis isn't just a person on this block. Otis is a warning with a name. At the bottom of your building, there's a hardware store, Vasquez Supply, and Mr. Vasquez has watched this corner from behind that counter for 2 decades. One afternoon, he catches you at the register buying a soda and says, without any wind-up, I pay $9 an hour to stock shelves. You almost laugh. You make that in 90 minutes standing still. He shrugs. Offer doesn't expire, he says. Most things out here do. Your best friend Cortez works the block 2 buildings down. He keeps a folded photo of a tattoo shop's storefront in his wallet, cut out of a magazine, because that's the plan. 5 years, a license, his name on the glass. Out here, everyone carries a picture of something. It's how you convince yourself this is a hallway and not a room you're locked in. 14 months in, Marcus pulls you aside and teaches you a word you've never heard in any classroom. Consignment. He says it like a gift. It is the most expensive word you will ever learn. Level 3. The ledger. Here's how the gift actually works. They front you product worth $900, and you owe back $600 by Sunday. Whatever's left over is yours. Clear $300 a week. That's the pitch. Here's what nobody prints anywhere. The $600 is owed no matter what happens. Robbed, owed, arrested, owed. 3 days of police parked on your corner like furniture, still owed. The risk rolls all the way downhill and lands in your pocket every single time. You watch what this does to a kid everyone calls Ray Ray, who comes up 200 short in October. Nobody touches him. Nobody has to. They just move the decimal point. His 200 becomes 400, riding on his next 3 packages. By Christmas, Ray Ray isn't working the corner anymore. The corner is working him. You've seen that exact look before on grown men at your kitchen table holding envelopes from the gas company. Same collar, different leash. So you get disciplined the way only frightened people get disciplined. You never touch your own supply. You count everything twice. You pay early, Saturday night instead of Sunday, because you figured out the only credit score this economy actually keeps. Does he pay, and does he pay on time? Word travels, and word turns out to be worth more than the cash itself. By 18, you're clearing $500-600 a week. You buy a used Civic with 100,000 miles on it for cash, and it goes in your cousin's name because your name still can't legally hold anything. Half of what you own lives under somebody else's identity: the car, the phone, even your own sneakers, technically. This is your first real lesson in wealth, though the word won't arrive for years. There's a difference between having money and owning something. You have money. You own nothing. The whole arrangement is built that way on purpose. Your mother finds a rubber-banded roll of cash in your jacket on laundry day. She doesn't scream. She sets it on the table between you both like it's evidence and asks you one question. You don't remember your answer. You remember that it wasn't true. Level 4. The territory. By 19, you're not just moving product. You're managing 3 other kids doing exactly what you used to do. You learn that responsibility here doesn't come with a title. It comes with exposure. When something goes missing, it's your name that gets said in a room you're not in. You get pulled over for a broken taillight at 2 a.m. and spend 11 seconds deciding whether tonight is the night your whole life changes, before the officer just writes a ticket and walks away. You don't sleep for 2 days afterward. Cortez gets picked up on a corner 3 blocks over, and you spend $400 of your own money on a bail bondsman before you even think about it. He comes home quieter. He stops mentioning the tattoo shop. You start noticing that everyone above you is protected by layers made of people exactly like you. Level 5. The Reckoning. 20 years old. A sweep hits 6 blocks in one night, and Marcus is one of the names on the news. You watch it happen from your window. For the first time, you calculate your own sentence like it's already been handed down. Nothing happens to you that night. That's the part that actually breaks something open in you. Not the danger, but the mathematics of how long your luck can possibly hold. You start doing something you've never once done out here. You start planning an exit. Level 6. The floor. At 23, on a Monday in March, you walk into Vasquez Supply. The bell over the door sounds exactly the way it did when you were 15. Mr. Vasquez is grayer now, thicker around the middle, still posted behind that same counter like a lighthouse keeper. He looks at you for a long moment, long enough to cover everything you're both choosing not to say. Floor gets swept twice a day, he tells you. Register comes later. $9.50 an hour. The offer never expired. Your first paycheck is $61 after taxes. You've held 40 times that in a single rubber band before. It is the most important money you've ever earned in your life. Level 7. The register. The pay stub says $211 for the week, and you stare at it longer than you ever stared at 10 times that amount, because this money has a paper trail. It has your name spelled correctly across the top. It can walk into a bank in daylight. So you do too, 23 years old, opening your first checking account, palms sweating like it's a traffic stop. You started a credit score of nothing, which you note with a dry laugh, is still better than where the other economy starts you, below 0, wearing a collar called consignment. Here's what surprises absolutely everyone, including you. You're good at this, frighteningly good. It turns out the corner was a business school with a body count. You can eyeball inventory. You catch shrinkage before Vasquez does. You read suppliers' faces the way you used to read cars circling the block. Vasquez teaches you the rest out of a composition notebook he's kept since the store opened. Margins, spoilage, cash flow. Some products barely turn a profit but bring people through the door twice a week, the signal you think, and explain the joke to nobody. Year 1, you get keys. Year 2, you get the books. Year 4, Vasquez's knees give out and his daughter down south wants a father, not a hardware store. He names his price at the counter on a Tuesday, flat, like he's quoting you paint by the gallon. $90,000. You have $11,000 saved, clean, out of paychecks. You know now that $11,000 outweighs every duffel bag you ever hid. Vasquez takes it as a down payment and holds the note himself. $900 a month, 8 years, his name on your paper. Halfway through signing, your pen stops because you finally recognize the shape of it. Take now, pay later. Your name on the risk. It's the exact same machine, wearing a different uniform, except the man holding your debt is sitting across the table actively hoping you win. That's the entire difference between the two economies you've lived inside. It took you 12 years to see it clearly. Credit can be a collar or a ladder, and it's the same word on both receipts. Level 8. The deed. In your 3rd year owning the store, the landlord raises your rent 18%, and you sit with the ledger at 2 a.m. laughing quietly to yourself, because you finally see the whole shape of your own life. You've spent every year of it fighting over corners, working corners, running from corners, and you have never once owned one. The building costs $210,000. The bank says yes. A bank says yes to you. Loan officer shakes your hand, and you think about a 19-year-old with cash hidden inside a wall who couldn't have opened a savings account. The bank didn't get kinder. Your paperwork got legible. Over the next 9 years, you buy the building next to it, then the lot on the corner. You put a laundromat where a stash house used to sit, and you never tell a single tenant what that room used to hold. 3 storefronts, 14 people on real payroll, taxes and everything, paid on time every time because you remember exactly what short money feels like from underneath. Your mother's house gets paid off. 1 cashier's check. She frames the deed in her hallway like a diploma because that's precisely what it is. Ending. It's a Thursday in October, and through your front window you see him. 14 maybe, sitting on the steps across the street, doing quiet arithmetic in his head. You know that equation by heart. A light bill, a tired parent, a refrigerator with no margin left in it. A young man in clean sneakers crouches down beside him and says something short. The boy laughs, then listens, then nods. You could cross the street. Some days, some kids you do. An apron, a schedule, $14 an hour, a door that stays open. Today, you just stand at your own register, in your own building, on your own corner, and you watch. Because you know exactly what $40 sounds like to a kid doing his mother's math. No speech on earth outbids that feeling in the moment it happens. Tonight, he'll count that money twice under his blanket and feel, for the first time in his life, like the numbers might finally work. Thinks he just got hired. You know what he actually just did? He started the count. If you made it this far, you already know why this story never really ends at the top. Just changes what's being counted.